Welcome, wrestling fans. I am the King V, and this is going to be my official WWE Wrestlemania 29 prediction show. Ooh, here we go. So there's 10 matches on the card technically. The WrestleMania 29 pre-show is actually going to be uh, for the Intercontinental Championship, Wade Barrett versus The Miz, and I think that by them making this a pre-match, it's not officially a WrestleMania match. So the Miz will lose because I feel like the Miz needs to go on a WrestleMania winning streak. But by them making it a pre-match, to me, it makes it feel like the Miz is gonna lose because I feel like he needs to continue his winning streak at WrestleMania. But since he's not on the actual card, he's on the pre-show card. Um, it looks like Wade Barrett's going to win it and continue to hold the title for the next few months, which is totally fine with me. But I'm still looking for a push by The Miz. Ever since he went to make his movie, he's been put on the back burner. They gave him the U.S. title, took it away. They gave or not the U.S. title. They gave him the Intercontinental title and took it away. And ever since, he's just kind of been, on the back burner. The next match I'm going to talk about for WrestleMania 29 is a match that I think should actually be the pre-show. It should be the other way around. But um, Brodus Clay, Tensai, the Funkadactyls versus Cody Rhodes, Damien Sandow, and the Bella Twins. Okay, first off, I blinked and the Bella Twins were back. I didn't even know the Bella Twins were back. Now they're part of WrestleMania. What the hell? Okay, and then you're gonna put this tag team that no one gives a shit about, you know, in WrestleMania. It's just to me, you could have had an Intercontinental Championship match in there. It just, uh, anyways, I gotta predict a winner for this one, and I think Cody Rhodes and Damien Sandow is gonna go ahead and win this one. I don't think Brodus Clay and Tensai are a serious tag team. I don't think Brodus Clay is being taken seriously as a performer or a wrestler. He's had the same gimmick for a year now, and they don't seem to be going anywhere with him. But hey, he shows up, he makes his money, right? Next match I'm going to talk about is yet another match I think is a horrible idea. I think should not have even been put on the card. But I mean, this match could be on the pre-show, but they're trying to push this guy, so I got to see what they come up with. But it's going to be Chris Jericho versus Fandango. Chris Jericho versus Fandango. I think they're gonna actually follow through with the actual push, and I think Fandango is gonna win, beating Chris Jericho. I think it's about time Chris Jericho put someone over, officially puts someone over. And as much as I don't like Fandango, all I've seen him do is kick, punch, and do the leg drop off the top rope. If that's all he can do, then I don't want I don't want Fandango to win. I just don't want it to happen. But it's probably going to be Fandango winning that match. Next match on the list is Mark Henry versus Ryback. Personally, I think Mark Henry's time in the WWE is up. I think this match is purely to put Ryback over. Um, institute Ryback as the elite strongman. Not saying that Mark Henry's career is over, just saying that it's about time for Mark Henry to put someone over as well, because he's been in wrestling for a long time. So I'm looking forward to a push for Ryback and Ryback getting put over by Mark Henry. So I have Mark Henry winning that match. The next match on the list is the big match, one of the big matches. Randy Orton and Sheamus and the Big Show versus the Show. As much as the crowd will pop for Randy Orton, Sheamus, and Big Show win, as much as the crowd will pop over it, as much as the marks will go crazy, I'm going with the Shield. Again, the Shield needs to be put over as well. We need legitimacy for these guys. They won at Elimination Chamber, but I think that they need to win a big one here at WrestleMania to officially put them into the roster as a legitimate threat. Because so far, they're not much of a legitimate threat. Their success isn't even anywhere near what Nexus was able to do a couple of years ago. The next match is for the WWE Tag Team Championship, and it's going to be Daniel Bryan and Kane, the reigning Tag Team Champions. Realize they've been Tag Team Champions since basically SummerSlam, I'm pretty sure it was. So it's been a while since they've lost. They're facing Dolph Ziggler and Biggie Langston. Now, I've been hearing a lot about Biggie Langston's strength and a lot of good things about Biggie Langston, but I don't think they're gonna go for a push on him. I think Team Hell No is gonna take the win this time. Dolph Ziggler has more important things Sunday night to worry about than the tag team championships. I mean, who knows? They could win it. They could win the tag team championship, but I would much rather have Team Hell No keep the titles, keep them on them, and please, for the love of all that's saying, the Usos need a push. They need to get into the tag team hunt. I mean, they've been here for a long time, and if you're not gonna do it now, then don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't even put them on TV. Employ them as dark match competitors like Evan Bourne is, because there's no point now. They've been here. They've been in WWE for so long, and they get so close, but they always get pulled away from the title hunt. The next match is for the World Heavyweight Championship. Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. Now, Alberto Del Rio's last championship run was only a few months long, and it wasn't, it was so that he could go to Mexico and be the championship on their tour in Mexico, which was all good and everything. But right after that tour was over, pretty much, they waited a month and a half, and took it off of him. I'm looking for Alberto Del Rio to beat Jack Swagger and continue the reign, but I can also see the perspective of putting Jack Swagger over. But I'm going to go ahead and put Alberto Del Rio as a successful defense and the win over Jack Swagger. Del Rio, it's not time to take it off of him. It's not time to take it off of him. So Alberto Del Rio should beat Jack Swagger. They should have another rematch here in the Elimination Chamber. Extreme Rules. So I think they'll continue this storyline for a few more months, because that seems to be the trend for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I would not be surprised if WrestleMania opens with the World Heavyweight Championship once again. So I choose Alberto Del Rio in that match. The next match on the list is the No Holds Barred, with Triple H's career on the line. Brock Lesnar versus Triple H, with Shawn Michaels in Triple H's corner, and of course Paul Heyman in Lesnar's corner. Excuse me. And I think for the most part, I'm choosing Triple H. I don't think he's willing to give up wrestling. He'll still be the COO. I mean, it all depends on what he wants to do. If he wants to stick to the backstage stuff, to being the boss, I'm cool with that. But um, if really deep down inside he wants to keep going a couple more WrestleManias, I don't see him wrestling more than twice a year. So maybe WrestleManias and SummerSlams. But Triple H, Brock Lesnar, I'm choosing Triple H in this one. Um, two more matches to go on this WrestleMania card. The next match is a match that actually people have been getting more excited about the last few weeks. Me, not too much, but a lot of people have been excited about it. And this match is going to be the streak match. CM Punk versus The Undertaker. Now, from from what it looks like to me is that The Undertaker, he's not being portrayed in this storyline very well. Coming out to the ring, saying he's pissed off, saying that he's going to do something about it, is a whole 360 from actually doing something about it. The old Undertaker would have already had CM Punk's number, but CM Punk has had Undertaker's number all month long. Undertaker hasn't been able to do much shit about it. So, I mean, it could just be the WWE bluffing me, and I might be falling for the bluff. But I think CM Punk's gonna win it. This is it. I think Undertaker uh, is gonna try to pass his figurative um, legacy to somebody else, and I think CM Punk is it. I mean, wouldn't it be awesome after CM Punk beats Undertaker, he ends up going for the next 5 or 6 WrestleManias undefeated? That would be pretty funny. But I think CM Punk's the one. I think after 20-0, the Undertaker decided, well, they're gonna expect me to keep going until I get beat. So I think this is the year. I think they actually probably had something like this planned a year ago. So we'll have to see come Sunday, but I'm pretty sure that this is it. CM Punk will beat The Undertaker. And finally to the main event. We all know it's going to be the main event of the evening. We all know it's going to be the last match. We're all going to sit for 3.5 hours. 3 hours, 3.5 hours. However long it is, we're all going to sit on our hands for 3.5 hours for this match. And it's going to be for the WWE Championship. John Cena, The Rock, will face off one more time in New York City. I'm choosing The Rock. Now, a lot of people can say, well, that's just because you don't like John Cena. That's just because you're an attitude baby. Fine, I'm a fucking attitude baby. But that's not the reason. Okay? John Cena is not ready. Okay? Hulk Hogan became the it guy in the 80s. Okay? And he did not, I repeat, Hulk Hogan did not pass that torch until he faced The Rock less than 10 years ago. Actually, maybe a little more than 10 years. I'm not quite sure on the exact. Anyways, it wasn't until Hulk Hogan faced The Rock that the torch was finally passed. Now, you really think that John Cena, even though he's wrestled 10 straight years, whoa, 10-time WWE champ, whatever the hell it is that is on his rep, he's not ready. and I don't think he ever will be. I don't think he is it. I don't think he's the next one. I mean, from my standards, this is how it goes. It goes Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, The Rock. Those are the three top tier guys of all time. Okay, just below them, you're gonna have guys like Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Ric Flair, Triple H. Okay, guys that are good, got a lot of championships, did well, but they weren't the guy. Let me reiterate here, okay? When if you go for the black back, you could probably put Classy Freddie Blassie up there with Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan and The Rock. But we're just gonna stick at starting at Andre the Giant. Way back when, okay, what sold a lot of tickets was Andre the Giant. Andre the Giant sold out houses. People wanted to go see him. He sold tickets just by being on a card because everybody wanted to go see the Giant. Okay, Hulk Hogan took over that stature in the 80s with Hulkamania and the big run of the Hulkster, and everybody sold out arenas to see the Hulkster. Much as I hate Hulk Hogan, it's the truth. Everybody sold out arenas across the country for Hulk Hogan, and that's just the way it was. Now, Stone Cold had um, that same moniker about him. He was able to sell out houses too, but the thing is Steve Austin had help. Steve Austin had a lot of help selling out buildings. I mean, Austin was in a locker room of a lot of talented guys. There were a lot of great matches that helped support Austin and get the building sold out. I mean, I still to this day think that if there was no Mick Foley, if there was no Undertaker, if there was no Triple H, Austin would not be able to sell out buildings alone. Whereas for the most part, I mean, towards the end of Andre the Giant's career, he wasn't selling out buildings on his own. But for the most part, most of Andre's career, he was selling out buildings just because he was there. Most of the Hulkster's career, buildings were sold out just because Hulk Hogan was there. And The Rock, it's the same thing. The Rock has the ability to sell out an arena, to sell out a stadium. John Cena doesn't have that ability, and it's proven by this whole last year. John Cena can't pull in the numbers that the three best of all time had been able to pull in their whole careers. Cena can't do that. And the times that there were sold out buildings, it was when he was facing guys like CM Punk, anti-Cena, He was facing anti-Cena wrestlers. I guarantee you, if we ever had John Cena versus Ryback for the WWE title, Ryback better be the heel in that bout. Because if Ryback's not the heel in that bout, that arena is not getting sold out. John Cena can't and does not have the ability to sell out arenas on his own. He never has his whole 10 years. And the whole time he's ever been in the main events that have sold out were in cities where the fan population is 14 years old and younger. Okay. Now, when I talk about selling out a building legitimately, I'm talking about places like New York City, Toronto, Los Angeles, Miami, the big premier cities where there are actually wrestling fans that watch for the good wrestling. Cena can't sell out those buildings. Cena has no problem selling out buildings like in Cleveland, Ohio, or in wherever the hell it is, Connecticut, Greenwich, Connecticut, or wherever the hell it is. He has no problem selling out places like that. But the big time stuff, John Cena's just not there. He's just not there, and to me, he's not worthy of the torch passing. And the way I view it, the only way you are able to get the torch passed over is by beating the man at WrestleMania. I mean, the Hulkster beat Andre the Giant at WrestleMania, and The Rock beat the Hulkster at WrestleMania. So this is why John Cena wants to beat The Rock so bad, because he wants to be the next it. There's only been 3 in the history of wrestling so far. He wants to be it, and it's just not gonna happen. And I think we'll go another decade before we find the actual it guy, the actual next guy. But you gotta realize, in The Rock's short career, he lost a lot, he gained a lot, but he did not wrestle a whole decade before he got. That's how talented The Rock is. And John Cena's wrestled a decade and there ain't shit to show for it other than a bunch of title runs. I mean, I can't remember one memorable WrestleMania moment that involved John Cena. I just can't. I mean, there was the John Cena versus Triple H match, but that whole match was centered around Triple H's destruction. That whole entire match, that match didn't really have much to do with John Cena other than he was Triple H's opponent, which I mentioned in my Powerful 8 video. So I'm taking The Rock, and I happen to know from little birdies, insiders, or whatever you guys like to call them, that The Rock has officially signed a 1 to 2 month contract extension that goes past WrestleMania. So does that mean The Rock retains and he feuds with Cena for a couple more months? Who knows? But at this point in time, I have no problem with The Rock being the champion. I have no problem with the championship not being on the show every week, and I know a lot of people are going to have a problem with that statement, but at the end of the day, when you think about it, it's going to take a lot more than a decade, a bunch of championship wins, and absolutely no off factor to get to where The Rock is at. I mean, for you to be a week away from WrestleMania and the crowd booing you? Come on. Come on. Really? Seriously. People need to think. John Cena fans, C Nation, you really need to think about that. What does it really, really mean to beat The Rock at WrestleMania? Alright, so that does it. That is my prediction show. My wins are all predicted, and for the most part, this WrestleMania, I see a lot of people getting put over. I see a lot of people getting a good push, and if that does happen, I'll be really happy, because that will ensure future stars in the WWE for the next couple of years to come. So that will be everything for this WWE WrestleMania 29 prediction show. I am the King V. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and like this video. And until next time, peace out, yo. Oh my god.